What's going on, everybody? Adam with eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Kuat NV 2.0 on our 2020 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. So one thing I want to let you guys know first, to make this fit properly, we are going to need to add a hitch extender. The one we're using here is a Curt, and it is going to add about 8 inches to the hitch receiver that you currently have. So just take that into consideration when we're going over the measurements and such. There are other options, so depending on what kind of tire you got and what kind of preference you have on branding or extenders, just go ahead and choose accordingly. But with the Curt 8-inch extender, we got this to fit pretty well. One thing I need to let you guys know is this is one color, but we have more. This is gunmetal gray. It has this little orange accent colors here, but if you're not really a fan of that, we actually have black that is going to be either metallic or flat black. So choose accordingly, whatever looks best with your vehicle. That's the one you should probably choose. But other than that, one thing that sets this one apart is we do actually have a little bike workstation here. So you're at the trail, you need to change out a tire, a chain, a gear, whatever it is. You can actually go ahead and twist this up like this, put your bike up there, clamp it down, and then you can go ahead and work on it on the spot. Kind of cool if you're one that swaps parts out a lot depending on the terrain you guys are riding in. I think that's a cool feature that you don't really get with a lot of other bike racks. But this one is going to be able to hold 2 bikes and carry them to and from your destination. And the nice thing about this one is no frame contact. So if you have a carbon fiber bike, don't got to worry about it. We're actually going to have a wheel hook up front here. It's just going to clamp down on your wheel, so you don't have to worry about any of that. If you have a fat tire bike, this isn't the bike rack for you. The wheel cradles here aren't going to be big enough for some of those bikes that you guys may have. But for the smaller kids bikes that you have, for the second attachment for our bike here, which is the first one we'll undo whenever we take this bike off the rack, so I'll just do that right now. But with this one, we actually have more adjustment for those smaller bikes, like I said, and we're going to be able to slide it throughout the whole entire rail here. So that'll be great because you don't really have to worry about if my bike's going to fit. Wheel hook's going to fit almost anything, and this will be able to adjust to almost anything. So that's awesome. I'm going to keep that undone right there, and we're going to go ahead, and before I completely take this thing off, I do want to make sure and show you guys the Tiltaway feature. It doesn't really do a whole lot for our Wrangler here, but this lever here is pretty easy to use if you needed to use it. But it just tilts down with the bikes installed, which is awesome. But doesn't really do a whole lot for us. It definitely has enough room here, so if we had to go grab our helmet, our book bag, or our shoes or something like that, we have enough room to be able to grab whatever we need out of the back of the Wrangler, but again, doesn't really grant us full access to the back end of the vehicle. But whenever we're done with that, you can just lift it back up. And now let's just take the bike off. Put a hand on the bike, and we're going to do the wheel cradle last. Just press this tab in, pull it up, fold it out like that, and you're pretty much ready to go. So one thing that I noticed is once we put these back down, they don't really lock into place. So if that's something that's going to concern you, what you could do is maybe just kind of move this thing out a little bit and just kind of try to get it underneath this little cradle here. It might help it not move, but it's just something I kind of thought of. That's something you can do if that concerns you, but I don't think we'll have any issues. So whenever we're done, fold them up like this, done deal. Let's do some measurements to see how much we added. Again, we do have an 8-inch extension, just to remind you. But from our bumper to the outermost point here, it's going to be about 42 inches. We can cut that down a little bit, just so you guys don't have to take this out every single time. Same exact lever with the tilting feature. So you just put that up like that. Locks into place, not a lot of play. And even with that 8-inch extension, we still have plenty of room. Even with this bigger tire, still have about 5 inches of clearance. So if you have another extension that you guys want to use, just be mindful of that measurement. Other than that, we'll go over the anti-rattle system, which is right here, a little knob. You don't have to worry about having an anti-rattle bolt that you have to get that thing perfectly lined up in the hitch to thread in this way. Just put it in there, put your pin through, and twist it down to get all that shake and play out of whatever hitch it's in. You see a little bit of movement here. That is just the extension that we use. Doesn't have an anti-rattle bolt, but we have some that do. Another thing is we are going to be able to lock this bike rack to the hitch receiver, and that's just going to be an including locking core right there. And we will get keys with our kit, and it has this little rubber cap just to keep all that moisture out of there over time. So it's not just going to lock up on you with all those elements. But we are going to get keys with our kit, and it is going to be key to like with our bike cables. Not a lot of bike racks come with them built in, and some of them come with them, but you have to store them somewhere when you're not using them. This one, thanks to that, locking core is included. This comes out, wraps around, hooks into itself to just to lock your bike to your bike rack. So this one's definitely is the one-stop shop. You got everything you really need to give you that peace of mind, just so you don't have to think about it whenever you're on the road, which is a plus for me. You have one on this side, you have one on the other side for 2 bikes, so that's pretty cool. Other than that, really not anything else I need to go over besides the fact that you need to measure your hitch receiver. Make sure it's 2-inch. This one only comes in a 2-inch option, so just be mindful of that. Other than that, I think we're good. Pretty much all you really need to know about the Kuat NV 2.0 on our 2020 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited.
First, we'll take it onto our slalom course. This will show you the side-to-side action, such as making turns or evasive maneuvers. Now we're at the alternating speed bumps. This will show you how it looks driving on uneven pavement or potholes. Finally, we're at the solid speed bumps, which simulates going into your driveway or parking lots.